detective. Thrill me.
Thanks for joining us. We've resurrected Steven Seagal, Jared. This was I threw this out there. I'm going to come straight out of the gate and say, I threw this out there.
Say sorry?
Yeah, well, yeah, possibly.
You're burning your chances here.
No.
If we institute a 3-strike policy, you're done.
No, but I needed something. I needed a film.
There's many films out there.
I know, but I saw it on Netflix and I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what? I went to the cinemas for this. I gave that cunt 15 quid. Okay, maybe it was 10 because I had a movie max at the time, so I was probably doing it right. Maybe I used my free film for that one. All right, so tonight's movie is 10:30.
Not
from
to go
2002. You've come out very early. Before we get to that, look, I've seen absolutely nothing. Zero. Nothing.
I've got one I could probably briefly talk to you about.
What have you got?
So, I can't remember whether I told you or not, but I did finish Mr. McMahon. I watched the entire Mr. McMahon, which was cool. But I watched one called, I finished up the Blair Witch 2. Not much to talk about there.
Not good?
No, it wasn't great.
No, I don't know where they went. They really... Look, there was nowhere else to go, right? In terms of the found footage. They couldn't just recycle found footage.
Yeah.
So, I think the idea kind of maybe had some merit.
Well, they didn't run with, from Joe Berlinger's point of view, they didn't run with what he wanted to go with. So they changed a lot of stuff. But what I see in there doesn't really
too much
make me think that what else was going to be out there was much better. But I want to hear something. Apparently there was 3 pictures. I think he was tossed three ideas that they'd had written and said, which one do you want? And he said, none of them, and worked his own. So I want to hear what the other pictures were. But anyway, it didn't turn out well. But the one I want to talk to you about, Adam, I think it's something you would like to get onto. I just checked in on SBS streaming for some reason. Like, you like to check in occasionally because they throw a few martial arts movies, horror movies, things like that. They tossed up a doco that I believe comes from a package of Bruceploitation films called Enter the Clones of Bruce. And it was...
Well, we discussed this in an episode many years ago.
Yeah, it was essentially a documentary that chatted to probably 3 to 4 of the guys that got put into that space of impersonating Bruce Lee, basically. And it was
lucrative business back then.
Well, it was, they were talking about how they were just, whipping movies out left and right. There was one of them, I think it might have been Dragon Lee. No, it was one of the other ones, possibly Bruce Liang, who was talking about...
You're still
basically talking about how... there's a stretch in the middle where they talk about how they would do the movies cheaply, and Dragon Lee starts talking about, we had fucking 7 guys doing the job that you'd have about 100 people doing now. So and they talk about how they didn't have permits. So they show this sequence from one of the movies. He's like, we used to add a lot of running in, and partly it was because we'd quickly race in there with the camera, shoot a fight scene, and then piss off because we didn't have permits anywhere. So you see this fight scene where people in the background are just walking over this bridge and looking at these guys just punching on, and then both of them just kind of leg it to another location. They talk about that, and then I think it's Bruce Liang that says, I would shoot a fight scene, and then it'd get back to the editors and whatever, and they'd whip it into 2 movies. They cut it in half and whip it into 2 movies. It was pretty cheap, but it was interesting to hear that a lot of these guys they actually were accomplished martial artists. They were found and kind of brought into the system, and then someone would be like, you look a little bit like Bruce Lee. How about this?
And they were obviously trading on Bruce Lee, his name.
Yeah. But it also went through the sort of the progression that the Bruceploitation films took, how they kind of went from being movies that were like, this is Bruce Lee's life story, to a little bit of, we'll start doing sequels to the Bruce Lee movies, or... using the names like Enter the Game of Death and all this sort of stuff.
Or Exit the Dragon.
Exit the Dragon. And then it went into, by the end of it, when it started to burn out, was where you got a few of the kind of crazier ones like the clones of Bruce Lee and all that sort of shit. Yeah. They also briefly spoke to Sammo Hung because he did the one where he was actually very good at impersonating Bruce Lee's mannerisms, but they made a movie, and they were quite complimentary of the movie about him being like a kid from like a small town who comes to the city to sort of emulate Bruce Lee.
Okay.
And kind of starts fighting people that he doesn't believe.
That seems to work better.
So yeah, it was a really good watch actually, very good doco. So I thought it was worth
I might have a look at that.
out there.
Definitely,
yeah,
especially if it's on SBS.
It is.
It always has a few nice things.
Don't have to go anywhere to watch it. You can stay in Australia.
That's right. I can stay in Australia. Yeah. Although it's warm in Australia, maybe it's a little bit cooler in the US.
Yeah.
Although, if I cross the border, I
can confirm I've been jetting back and forth there quite regularly.
All right, a quick discussion before we get into it. We've talked about Red One, the new Christmas film starring The Rock and Chris Evans. It finally was released in the US. Budget was $250, allegedly, $250 million. I'd say there's probably a fair amount of marketing and shit behind it. So you'd probably be looking at break-even point would be pretty high, I'd reckon. Somewhere, like if you wanted to make some money.
Well, what, they talk 2.5.
Yeah, so you need to make
that. You need to make 600
million. You're not going to make 600 million. If you're looking at the box office so far, it did 32 million opening weekend domestically, and then another 60 in the foreign markets, right? Second weekend, it's tracking at about 10, so that's a pretty big drop because obviously Wicked and Gladiator 2 have basically swallowed it up. So I'm thinking you're probably bottoming out domestically at about 60.
Yeah.
And then overseas you might do twice that, maybe 120, 130. So you're topping out just under 200 mil for a movie that cost you 250, in my opinion. But have to do fucking huge business somewhere to stave off not making anywhere near any money.
Yeah, but the thing about that though is it's murky. It's not supposed to be just a cinema movie.
Oh, okay. So it's hitting.
So because Amazon made it, it's like
I remember we spoke
about Air, right?
Mm.
We spoke about Air and how they basically looked at that as like a fucking loss leader to sell subscriptions to Amazon Prime, and really, the Prime Video is not what they want it for. It's the fucking Prime package.
Yes.
They want people signed up to Amazon's ecosystem, I guess.
So you're thinking that part of the Red One idea of success is it goes on to Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
and then we drive some subscriptions
there. But I think they've already the guys from Amazon have already addressed this in the media and basically said, I mean, they're talking shit. They're punching it up as a success, but there has been questions about, okay, fair enough. We're not just necessarily judging it by the box office in the cinema, but even if you're doing this, like give us an idea of what you need to be a success, because anybody's fucking looking at this saying, if you're going to lose, $150 million, is that a worthwhile?
How much is this? So are they able to say, no, but we made 200 million's worth of subscriptions?
Yeah, and that's the thing they don't say. They don't give you the numbers. I don't think Amazon gives you any numbers on how many times it's been watched.
It can't possibly be. It cannot possibly be. So in my opinion, it's a failure.
Well, you spend $200 million on fucking some aggressive marketing campaigns or something, don't you? I mean, I would say, like, you look at Air and you say, okay, they paid what, $100 million for that? It made 50
something in the
cinemas or worldwide or whatever. So you can say, all right, $50 million you spent on what you consider to be a good marketing campaign. For a company like Amazon, maybe you look at that and say, all right, that might be a success.
All the overheads on Air are much lower.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So Air, you could possibly even come across and say, well, that's a success.
Yeah, well, that's right, because
that's a success.
Yeah.
Because it made X amount of box office dollars.
And it's not the type of movie that it doesn't have the same marketing campaign as Red Ones.
Yeah.
It was more of there was a bit of buzz, there was a bit of word of mouth. So they probably didn't spend as much marketing it, but it probably was a movie that would, you jump on Amazon to hire it or jump on, I'll subscribe for a month just to watch.
It had niche kind of, watchability, I guess, because, it was more sport-based.
So at those figures, you could probably say, all right, for a company that size, it's worthwhile.
If Red One was $100 million budgeted, and then aggressively marketed, let's say at 200, what you said, then maybe we could turn around and say it's probably going to be a success, because even if you don't hit the dollars in the box office, you're getting close enough that your subscription sales and shit from it, great.
I really want to see some numbers. It would be really nice
They're staying tight-lipped because they don't want to look like they fucked it up.
But I think this one's a
This is a fake. It has to be. Like, you can't possibly...
Well, it's everywhere. I've seen the ad for that fucking thing so many times.
Yeah.
And I have been on Prime Video. I haven't seen it on Prime Video. I've seen it fucking everywhere else.
Exactly. So they've clearly gone out of their way. It's a Christmas film, but it's clear that it won't have legs.
Is there also... You
released it in November, for fuck's sake. I don't know what you were thinking.
Is there also... is there a bit of like a cult of The Rock kind of going on? Because have you seen like the difference between like the Rotten Tomatoes score versus the audience score?
Yeah, it's
the audience score was like in
different.
the 80s and the critic score was in the 30s.
Yeah, maybe, but they're clearly not going out to see it in the cinema, which seems weird. Maybe they're waiting for Amazon Prime.
Because, I mean, there's, as I've said to you and I are both in agreement, I feel, that we like The Rock. The guy seems to be, other than when he asks you to hold a bottle, he seems to do... good things. Yeah, some of it's for publicity and it always ends up on his social media. But I love seeing when he wanders into a store and's like, I've got the resources to fucking do this. All your petrol, like the one when he went into the fucking gas station and said, I used to steal candy bars from here. So I'm coming back to pay for them. I'm going to buy everyone here. You give one to every customer. But anyone that's in here, I'm getting you gas. I'm getting you fucking grab a drink from the fridge, whatever you want. It's on me. I love that shit.
Yeah,
he realises I think he genuinely, even though he does tend to publicise it a bit, I think he genuinely does try to give back. Understands his lot in life, and
I think he's probably a decent guy.
For sure.
Well, he clearly his celebrity status. He kind of uses it in a way that I don't care if he puts it on his social media. I think that's perfectly fine. That's just the fucking way of things now.
Yeah.
He seems to be. A giving sort of guy and helpful sort of character.
But we need to get you out of the production seats for a couple of movies.
Just take it.
I'm very much looking forward to the Smashing Machine because I feel like if that works, he might be more willing to fucking hand over to other people who get him some good buzz for an acting performance.
But The Rock's got to look at it differently, okay? The Smashing Machine, he's got to look at the Smashing Machine differently. So the measure of success of the Smashing Machine, he needs to stop looking at the numbers and all that shit and look at critically and fan base.
Just a couple.
Like the Iron Claw did not make a lot of money.
What was fucking, I can't remember the movie where Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were crapping on about they were kind of being meta about the movies they're making, and they're like, the art.
That was
artistic piece.
James Silent Bob.
Yeah. And they're like, you make the artistic
piece, then you make the fucking blockbuster.
Yeah, like, do that.
Yes.
Because you haven't done that for years.
But look at the Smashing Machine differently, okay? Yeah. Don't worry about the box office and shit. Worry about the quality and the critical and how your performance is viewed.
Yes.
Like, look at it totally differently. And
stop listening to the people on social media that are just going to, and the people on Rotten Tomatoes that are just going to go on there and, fucking, I'm going to hit the like button, I'm going to make a comment, great, love you, Rock, and all this sort of shit. Like,
don't worry about that. Think about how this is getting portrayed.
Yeah.
The Iron Claw's not a great example because I don't think the Iron Claw, I personally didn't think the Iron Claw was as good as everyone was making out. But in saying that, the Iron Claw made little money, but was well regarded.
Well, put it this way. It was well received, other than by yourself.
No, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
Look,
but it was not as...
But it's compare it to how his recent fucking 10 years, the last 10 years of his movies have been received.
Exactly.
Other than Moana.
So what have you got to lose, in my opinion? You've got nothing to lose.
Look, this is all very easy for me to say, but I heard he got $60 million of that budget. Basically, his fee was $50 to $60 million. So,
no, look, if I was
somebody
Amazon,
said,
it's not worth it.
Put that in front of me, and said,
it's not
you're
worth
producing
it
it
right
doing all
now.
that. Yeah, I'd probably do it.
A few years ago,
He doesn't need the money.
when The Rock was, had Jumanji and a couple of others up the sleeve. Moana was in there at that stage where the big money was there. I would have given him 60, even for shit. I'd have given it to him because I'm like, well, it's box office, it's bums, it's subscriptions, whatever we want, we will get.
But the problem now
I think that's fallen away a bit, and $60 million is too much.
Because he probably got something similar for Red Notice, you would have to think. So you got Red Notice and you got Red One.
He needs to avoid movies with fucking term red in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're shit, according to everything we've heard.
Yep.
So it's disappointing. And then one more thing for him. He admitted to weeing in bottles. He gave no reason for it.
He said, sometimes it happens.
There were questions I would have... Look, to me, the reporter is fucking weak as piss. Sorry for the analogy. But I would have said, now hang on a second, why?
Well, look.
Why do you pee in a fucking bottle and then hand it to the guy next to you?
I know you're on a movie set.
You animal.
I know you're on a movie set. You are the star. Yeah. You're the producer. Apparently you turn up late and no one has an issue with that. Can you not say, hey, we're shutting down for 2 minutes because I got to take a piss? I mean, can we
your time that valuable? Catheter in you?
Yeah. I would think it would take more time to find a dark corner to piss in a bottle and then give it to somebody.
What type of bottle is it too? Because it'd be fucking hard to get.
It might be Terramana Tequila.
It would need to have a big
his branded bottles.
See? Questions, Jared.
Is it a thermos? Does he piss in a thermos? But
he's a big guy. It's probably 2 to 3 thermoses a go.
But look, the biggest question that should have been asked for me is, okay, you've done that. You've done it.
What?
Do you need to give it to somebody or can you drop it in the bin yourself? That's the big question that you still have not answered.
If you give it to someone, do you expect them to wash it out
and do you tip
use
them?
It again?
Do you give them a tip? Do you say, look, I pay you pretty well, but this wasn't part of the job. I didn't put this in the ad on Seek for a personal assistant, so here's $100. Is
it in the fine print? Carry my urine whenever I fucking feel you should. He give you a $50 note and says, here, carry my piss.
Yeah.
Is that how this fucking works? Because, again, questions. Look, you can't get ahead of it, Rock. I would have said nothing about that.
We need to agree on a figure. I'll do it, but you need, every time I do it, it's like when Tony Todd negotiated the bee sting fee for Candyman. Yeah. Every time it happens, I get $1,000.
You know what? I would have used these words. Never proven.
Yeah, exactly.
Never proven.
With the allegations, never proven. That's one of the great sort of, deflections ever.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Never proven. That's all we're going to say.
Right now.
Yeah. He's going never proven while you're
what are you doing
up
down
a bottle.
Nothing.
None of your business.
All right.
Do you reckon he has one of those golf clubs that we saw that we... You take a leak in the golf club? Definitely. And again, you tip the caddy. He's like... Here's my putter.
Oh, it's sloshing. Holy, what kind of fucking animal does that? You know what? I just piss in the bush. You know what, Jared? The cops have a fucking... You can be criminally charged with fucking urinating in public, yet that asshole can piss in a fucking bottle and hand it to someone, and that's not considered a crime.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Do these PAs have a fucking union? Like, they need to be talking to them.
Yeah. Look, mate, I've got to tell you something. My boss, it makes me hold his piss. I don't know what to do.
Can we sit down with a mediator about this?
Yeah, exactly. All right, okay, let's fucking get off that now. Let's take a break. And here's the trailer for 2002's Half Past Dead.
In the new Alcatraz, the the biggest problem isn't breaking out.
What are you packing?
This. You want to play rough? Sorry, I'm not into men. It's dealing with the guys who just broke in.
It's a party, boys.
Why are you doing this?
$200 million worth of U.S. gold. What's going on?
We got a problem. Half-past dead.
That's what I'm talking about.
Rated PG-13. Opens November 15th.
Half Past Dead from 2002, written and directed by Don Michael Paul, who directed The Scorpion King, Book of Souls.
A lot of sequels.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
directed
Jarhead.
two or three of the last Tremors movies too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He was an actor. This was his first foray into filmmaking, or, writing, directing.
Mm.
It's produced by Brandon K. Hogan, who produced Boss Level, Steven Seagal, Ellie Samara, who produced Battlefield Earth, and Andrew Stevens, who produced The Whole Nine Yards. It stars Steven Seagal as Sasha Petrovich, Morris Chestnut as 49-1 / Donald Robert Johnson, Ja Rule as Nicholas Nick Fraser, and Nia Peoples as 49-6. The budget was $13 million. The box office was $19 million worldwide. I got two pieces of trivia. I had to have both of them. Okay?
Okay.
And they both involve Steven Seagal.
Right.
In an article for the German publication Berliner Kurier, Wolfgang Lindner recalls the eccentricities of Steven Seagal on the set. Reportedly, Seagal travelled everywhere in the company of a Buddhist advisor, whose verdicts on the state of Seagal's karma would be reason enough for Seagal to halt filming for a day. Fucking. But chakras aren't fucking
that
lined up.
advisor have a verdict on the script and writing or anything?
Well, no, the advisor was like, this movie sucks, mate.
You need to fucking get off this for a day at least.
Although writer-director Don Michael Paul praised Seagal in the making-of featurette on the DVD,
Yeah, because he wanted another job.
he has since gone on to give interviews saying that Seagal was a disruptive force.
Of course he did.
And that he would constantly turn up late and delay production for no apparent reason. Tell me something I don't know.
Yep.
All right, Jared. I'm going to go first because, fuck, this was my pick. It fits into a new action category for me. Action crud.
Action crud. Just step below action junk.
Action junk's like...
You get a little bit of excitement.
Yeah, you get a little bit of excitement out of action junk. You know it's shit, but there are moments where you're like, oh, that was all right.
Yep.
This is action crud, which is just a fucking pile of things together that don't work in any way, shape, or form. And that includes acting, direction, writing, action sequences, choreography, all of it.
Mm.
They also steal from other movies. And I'll get to that later.
Yep.
I don't know how this got a cinema release. I can't... I have no idea how this got to cinemas.
Mm.
It looks like a on-video production, in my opinion. I mean, the fucking fight scenes look like something out of Power Rangers. They do.
Power Rangers was more exciting.
Yes. And Seagal is just so fucking wooden. I'm surprised they didn't plant the guy somewhere.
Yeah. Drop him on a fire somewhere. Would have got cold one evening. Stevie, can you just come and sit on
Can you lay on this? 1 out of 5. Would you agree with me that this is action crud?
Yes, I would. Funnily enough.
I thought you were going to push back.
No.
No.
Yeah, you described it pretty well. There's just these elements that are tossed out there, and then there's just no effort to kind of... They need to be like Trump. They need to do the weave. They need to take some characters and story and do the weave and kind of get them all together at them. Like, it's just sort of...
Similar to Trump's hair, I think, is the weave.
It's like they just say something, and then it just kind of... It's just out there, and then we don't come back to it. We don't explain it. We don't bother to attach it to any other story point.
There are a number of story points that just are in there for no apparent reason.
Yeah. The direction is not great. I feel some of that goes on Seagal because it appears to be at a point where he started to, I don't know, some physical changes have come into the mix, and I don't know, he's asked to be shot
his waist
in a different style. Well, yeah, he's wearing loose-fitting clothing quite a bit.
Yes.
He appears to be shot a little differently.
I think there's a couple of
the fight scenes.
I think there's actually a couple of a fair bit of use of doubles.
Yeah,
in most of it.
I also think that's the case. It looks like that this might have been where it started to creep in quite heftily. Some of the background players are not so bad acting-wise, but they're just given nothing to work with. Like, just the story's just pretty average. The dialogue is really bad in a lot of sequences, and it just doesn't muster anything. Doesn't, like, Half Past Dead was me watching the fucking movie, I think. Like, my emotions and it was just, everything was so flat.
Yes.
So it's really tough to give it more. I gave it a 1.5 in the end.
1.5.
Yep.
Okay. Look, I've only got 2 likes.
Same.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mo Chestnut. He is sleepwalking, Chestnut, but there's enough charisma that he comes out of this with his fucking dignity intact.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can walk off the court saying, I gave it everything.
Look, I put up 6 points on 6 points on 3 of 6.
Yeah.
I got a steal, a turnover, and a couple of rebounds.
Yeah, look, I only got the 6 points, but you only gave me the minimal amount of shots.
Yeah.
You weren't passing me the ball.
Yes.
When you did, I knocked it down.
Yeah, I pretty much hit it down.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I did a little bit of this and that, but then you took me off the court, right? Chestnut, his villain fucking sucks. He's got nothing to do. No. And my thoughts on their plan is just fucking, it's the way they go about what they're doing is just fucking mind-numbingly stupid.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot to get into on that side of things.
But Chestnut is a good enough actor. He's always had a bit of charisma for me.
Yep.
And he uses it enough here to just get me over the line. To say, look, that's not Mo Chestnut's best work, but fuck. You know, he's the most watchable thing in the movie.
He's like the veteran you signed. Either you signed him on a veteran minimum, he came in, he did the job, we move on.
Yes.
Like, I mean, the team stinks, but he comes out of it with a few. He comes out of it into the free agency with a few offers from other teams.
Correct.
You did all right.
As a guy who plays, 10th, 11th man.
Yeah.
Okay, have you got one other like? What is it?
So I've got, Mo Chestnut wasn't necessarily one of my likes.
Mo Chestnut wasn't in the likes.
I actually
have a problem with you.
No. But look, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I mean, I don't hate the bones of the story for a piece of action crud that was aiming to be action junk. The idea of the whole, it's the prison, it's a break in, not a break out, like that. All that stuff is played. It's been done in movies that are far more entertaining than this.
I mean, this is The Rock light.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's The Rock. It's got, it's got elements of all those things. So, in terms of the idea around, okay, there's a fucking fortune at stake. Someone wants to bust in and fucking get that.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
It gets needlessly convoluted by other things.
Yeah, it gets needlessly convoluted, but the problem is you need strong fucking leads that are involved in that, and you need a strong character that's been tossed into that mix that's going to have a strong reason to get involved and stop it.
Well,
that's where it falls down.
You know, again, looking at The Rock, for instance, you've got Goodspeed, who's the
one that pisses in bottles, or the movie?
Not the one that urinates in bottles, the actual movie.
Yeah.
The movie that's not a scumbag, Jared.
Yeah.
So, you got Goodspeed, who's the chemical nerdy guy. You've got Mason, who broke out of The Rock, and you're sending them back in to neutralise a threat. That makes fucking perfect sense. You've got 2 really fucking charismatic leads, and that's why The Rock works, mate.
Perfect sense. The Rock looks at Half Past Dead and says, I got more sense than that.
And then it throws in the frenetic action on top of all that.
Correct.
Whereas this pile of fucking shit
doesn't have either of those things.
Has none of those things, and then tries to throw low-level action crud on top of it.
Yeah, you're still jumping ahead. We're still trying to say some nice things. We're still sorry, but
so you're saying the idea, the bones of the idea, were okay?
Yeah, for this type of movie, I can live with that.
Okay.
The bones were there to whip something half decent together. Didn't happen. But I'll give you some credit for that. The other thing, my other like.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. What do you got?
Ja Rule being flung out of a fast-moving vehicle and slamming into a windscreen and then getting up like it's all fucking shits and giggles.
That was pretty funny.
Best part of the movie. I was fucking laughing my ass off at that.
Okay, fair enough. I did giggle at that.
It's probably in your dislikes, but it was the only part of the movie
it's not,
that merged into.
It wasn't in my dislikes.
Fucking ludicrous. I mean, I'm laughing just thinking about it. When Seagal kind of whips the car around. Stuntman just goes flying out of the car into a windscreen, slides off, and then stands up like, you motherfucker, or something like that. That's not funny. You've probably just broken something.
I know. My fucking pelvis is in my belly, but Jesus, that's all right. My other like was when Nia Peoples beats the shit out of fucking Ja Rule. And I was like, that he had it fucking covered.
Yeah.
He had it coming.
His stunt double earned his
pay packet. And you know what? It's the only time that the choreography looks vaguely acceptable.
Yeah.
And I think if you look closely, it is actually her.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
And I get like, Ja Rule's stunt double got beat up there. He got flung out of a moving vehicle. When they enter prison, did you notice he got fucking flipped into a bookcase? He got fucking
from a helicopter.
I was like, why is Seagal not doing this?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is he not allowing himself to get a few hits in and then get thrown through a bookcase?
No. And then make a fucking rye bowl gag as he's getting dragged.
Yeah. Is Seagal the originator of the fucking point system that Vin Diesel perfected?
Yeah, no doubt. And I've got more on that. But yeah, Nia Peoples seems to have a little bit of game. And the only time the choreography looks anywhere decent is that fight.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's like easy to dismiss her because of what you said about copying other movies. But again,
it is easier to dismiss her. Not her fault, mind you.
No, correct.
She's left with fuck all to do. I should
say to dismiss her character.
Yeah, dismiss the character. She's given fuck all to do, but she does at least look good on screen. And gives him a fucking right royal ass whipping, which he fucking deserved. Because I got a lot to say about his fucking performance too. All right, and nothing else.
Nothing else.
Okay.
I could not find anything else.
Fucking,
not a crumb.
Driving into the dislikes like Seagal.
Yeah. We found a chestnut, that was it.
No, a small chestnut. That plot that you talked about, which should have been a simple break-in scenario, is just convoluted by all sorts of strange bullshit about Seagal's dead wife and he's fucking deep undercover somewhere.
Fuck. You whip together the simple bones. We have to get back into this joint for this reason, and then you allow half-decent characters to do the rest of it, don't you?
Yeah.
And us thinking, oh, well, fuck, as if that would happen, but I'm going to live with it because I'm enjoying the ride.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, I wasn't enjoying the ride here, so I was fucking like,
you know what?
Are you telling me this prison has a fucking glass roof?
It's the kind of ride that makes you want to throw up. Like, it's that kind of thing, but it's too...
Yeah. Are you telling me that there was a helicopter that crashed because there was so much bad weather, but then when the fucking glass breaks in the ceiling, there's not a drop of rain?
No. There's a number of questionable things that are going on there.
Yeah.
But on top of that, we've got Seagal's dead wife. He's deep undercover.
Yep.
Right?
Deep.
We don't know what his allegiances are.
Deep undercover, I think.
He didn't even know he was undercover. That's how fucking deep he was. So we don't even know which side he's on.
Yeah.
He says he's a Russian.
It seemed pretty... Like, as soon as they mentioned, you didn't say FBI, you're like, oh, okay, he's FBI.
No, but...
We get it.
He allegedly is a Russian. I thought it was pretty fucking funny from the get-go.
Yeah.
But also the half-past dead shit. How he
was
went
dead for 22 minutes, Adam.
22 minutes.
Didn't they toss out 22 minutes?
No, look, he was dead for fucking 98 minutes.
Well, yeah, well, we can confirm that. But I think they tossed out the number 22 minutes, and my immediate thought was, doesn't your brain sort of...
I think it's like 7 minutes,
They used to have a brain damage after, 7 or 8. Steve, come on.
Draw your own conclusions.
Yeah, just say 2 minutes. I was dead for 2 minutes. Fuck. That's impressive enough. Because you're not dead anymore.
Stephen, okay. Let me put it to you this way. It's like the time you got choked out and shit your pants. just fucking accept that you can't do what you're saying. Fucking accept it.
Exactly.
Like, and you know what? Then you don't get embarrassed by shitting your drawers.
Well, yeah, we've all done that, haven't we?
No.
I'm not going to comment any further on that other than I recommend you don't eat yabbies at restaurants in North Queensland.
No, Jared, no. Yes, I've shit myself under duress. But not by fucking puffing my chest out and saying, choke me out.
If it happened because I was choked out, I'd be happy to tell that story. Not just having a meal.
Yeah, or getting food poisoning and fucking shit in the bed. One of those type of things. Is that the story you're going with?
I know
a guy, Jared. I know a guy who did that.
Yeah, I'm envious.
Yeah, exactly.
He was in his house.
The fucking bad guys, they're the way they take the prison. I was just like, why are we doing it like this?
Yeah.
Why aren't we just... I mean,
why did we check bomb before we decided to throw a chopper into the mix?
Chestnut had the ear of the guy from Department of Prisons who went in there.
Yeah.
So Chestnut goes in with them.
Yeah.
He brings a couple of cronies.
Yeah, put them on staff.
They're carrying weaponry that doesn't get picked up by fucking metal detectors. And you fucking Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
You're not cutting a hole in some glass in the roof and fucking dropping in. I mean, at one stage, Jared, the fucking doors to the prisoners' cells are open.
Yeah. They also do you've got 90 seconds. But there was no setup to why he has 90 seconds. There's no, you remember like the Mission Impossible scene where they're like, okay, well, this is the room. That's why we have to go down on the roof.
Yeah.
Like, perfect sort of setup. In this one, it's just like, you've got 90 seconds. I'm like, but why? Just tell me why he's got 90 seconds.
But they crash a helicopter into the fucking place about 2 minutes after they take control.
Fuck, Chestnut. No one's hiring you after this gig. You're not getting out of this and having the criminals.
You better find the gold bars because, fuck me, you're not getting anywhere after this. Don Michael Paul and his fucking need for slow-mo. There was slow-mo every 5 seconds. I was like, even in just simple moments where people were smiling at each other. I don't know why you were doing that, Don. It needs to be frenetic, not fucking slow. It was already slow because you had Seagal.
Yeah, hard to argue that.
I mean, fuck, this is the kind of movie you offer Jet Li or something, don't you? So you can get away with that shit.
It's
like
not
the
even
fight
like
sequences look good.
Freneticism, like, there's so many fucking cuts in there. There was one particular, the first one that Seagal gets in a blue with the first guy that says, I'll go and get him.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen Seagal use so many slaps.
They're in the fucking infirmary.
But they keep going back and forth to the point where you look at some shots and you're like, I don't even know if the other guy's even there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one guy, the other guy, one guy, the other guy. And it looks like shit.
Yeah.
It looks so bad. And then the end to that fight, like where Seagal gets thrown to the floor and then he kicks off the floor and the guy goes flying.
Yeah.
And then we get a shot of him. We get a shot of him with his eyes not blinking to indicate to us, oh yeah, he's dead. I'm like,
how?
What the fuck just happened?
Did he break his neck?
He got slapped senseless and died. That was so bad. That first fight scene was so bad.
It was terrible. Seagal's mullet. It was thinning too. That's the worst
He needed
part.
some, I don't know, he needed some bloody pert or something to really puff it up a bit.
He needed advanced hair hats. Jared, he fucking needed something.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to take shots at the man for that because,
he needed a rug,
I'm in that category too.
He needed a rug.
No, he didn't. Just fucking
Shave it
don't
up.
go for a mullet.
Shave it up.
He was still in the point where he could have gone like short hair and it wouldn't have looked like it was thinning, wasn't he? Or are you saying that he was thinning to the point where he
was
had
thinning.
to grow it long?
I think
to
he
cover
was
it?
thinning
Like
at
a
that
comb
stage.
over style, but like a comb back
Or
into a
did he think
ponytail.
that that's what Russian people were doing back then? Because he had a tendency to do that in his movies.
Who knows what Stephen thinks?
Fucking Stephen thought, well, the Russians are back in, mullets are back in Russia.
Maybe.
But he
Would
was
have been the
thinning
point.
on top, you could tell, right? So that's why he's wearing the do-rag. It's another dislike.
I can't even speak about that. What?
No, I cannot even speak about it. It's one of my dislikes coming up, which was a fucking blight and probably the lowest ebb in Seagal's fucking career.
The
I
whole
reckon.
career?
Yeah, I reckon the whole career.
Okay. So I'll stick with the generals for now.
Yeah.
I know, look, it's part and parcel of the action hero package, but Seagal being the coolest customer in the room in any situation just comes off so worse, like so much worse coming from him, especially in this, because there's just nothing else going on, that it's just like, it seems like he believes it all, for one.
Oh, of course.
I'm bringing some outside fucking
Forces.
stuff into the movie, I guess.
But you're right. He thinks that, like, because I'm a tough guy. Like, I'm a tough guy in real life, so I'm a tough guy on film.
I feel like we've talked about this a little bit, and I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but I feel like Willis got this more than the other guys.
Yes.
After Stallone had it with Rambo, but quickly forgot about it, and definitely doesn't remember any of that when we watched the Family Stallone or season 2. Holy shit! Just can you watch Rambo again?
He thinks he's Rambo.
First Blood. Yeah, he thinks he is. Arnie, I give Arnie a lot of.
But Arnie was a man mountain, so
Arnie
the
could
idea
take
was
the piss out of himself. Arnie had a little bit of this stuff, but was okay with laughing at himself a little bit at times. Willis was the one that would wake up in a fucking alcohol-fueled haze. They'd have to fucking muster him up with, here's a cup of Joe to get you going for the day. Like that sort of stuff. He had characters like that. Obviously, even outside John McClane, we've talked about Joe Hallenbach being
Joey Hallenbach
dragged
is one of my
out from
favourites.
under a fucking
It beats a box
pile
with a
of-
fucking dead rat on it.
yeah, pizza box and a pile of cans. That sort of shit. I feel like Willis did more of that than.
So what Willis understood was he wasn't the muscle-bound guy,
Yeah.
right? He was he was gifted the everyman action hero 3 movies into his
And
career.
Willis would bleed.
Yes.
Like
He would get the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
But what part of his luxury was he was gifted with John McClane only a couple of movies into his career.
I mean, The Last Boy Scout was essentially fucking Oscar the Grouch
yes.
winning the day.
Exactly. Willis didn't mind looking like shit or being vulnerable. His characters were always vulnerable.
Yeah.
He kind of slid a little bit near the end into some stuff where
Oh, they all have it. They all have those
he
movies.
had a couple of
where
those
it's
movies
perfect.
where he sort of they had to tailor it to his style.
Yeah.
But he generally went for stuff that was a little bit more. Well, no one was going to buy him as beating the shit out of everyone. Like
Yeah, correct.
He knew that.
Yep.
Whereas
So
Seagal
just never. I mean, you got a chance with. Fuck, I forgot the name. The DMX one.
Exit Wounds.
Exit Wounds. You got a chance. You got a bit of a blueprint to say, hey, you. And look, I haven't seen that in a while, but when I was kind of looking back in this one, it was brought up that Seagal was almost second fiddle to DMX in Exit Wounds.
A little bit, yes.
So you've been positioned a little differently. You've had a laugh at yourself in a couple of scenes, and it was a bit of a success. So then you come back to this and you just fucking cock it right up, don't you?
Well, if you look at
By going back to the same old shit.
Well, if you look at Exit Wounds was with a major studio, so I think it was Warner Brothers, and it's produced
You're saying it
by.
wasn't action crud?
It wasn't action crud, action junk,
Action
no
junk?
doubt, but
High level?
high level action junk, and it was produced by I think Joel Silver,
Mm.
and he was not going to take this I wear fucking prayer beads and He was going to say, well, Stephen, I'll tell you what, you can fuck off then.
Yeah, correct.
Right? Joel Silver was one of those producers.
Fucking Mark Dacascos is on the line and he'll take any of these roles. Like,
well, Silver was one of these guys like a Jerry Bruckheimer who had credibility in those type of movies. So in the behind the scenes space. So it means that Seagal couldn't pull that shit. And the thing that shits me is I had a good time with Exit Wounds.
Yeah.
And I had a good time with Seagal taking the piss a touch.
Yep.
Like, I honestly, that sequence of him fucking doing traffic duty is piss funny, where he's trying to fucking stop cars and blowing whistles and doing all this bullshit. I laughed my ass off.
You've taken a hit.
And he looked genuinely fucking frazzled there.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? If you gave him a bit more of that, I feel like he would come up to it a little bit.
Yep.
So I had high hopes. But this is just, it's such a backward step. It's like you couldn't do it for more than one movie.
Yeah.
You couldn't just swallow that shit for a bit and fucking...
couldn't see the writing on the wall.
Give us...
See, this might be a direction to go for a little bit of sustained success.
Because I could have seen him, you're right, getting his ass kicked a little bit in the prison and thrown around by guards and, making a few fucking jokes and shit after getting pounded.
You've allegedly had a fucking knee replacement, but you still can't be touched.
I know.
Like, Jesus. At least limp a little bit.
Couldn't even get that done. Fucking hell. The bit where when we first meet him, where it's just fucking all close-up shots of him with the steely eyes and then him just kind of mumbling.
Do you think he was not on set again? That he had to quickly turn up and shoot his lines while everyone else was?
He was fucking on, buddy. He was on Zoom.
Yeah.
It's this tough guy shtick, but it just kind of comes off as really stupid.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you don't get. You don't understand. And,
well, it's exactly what we're talking about. That cool as a cucumber kind of, it just doesn't work in that shit. Because he just does it so much. You've never been frazzled.
He couldn't downplay.
Yeah.
Right? And he couldn't look at the sort of the Willis type of blueprint and say, you know what?
Yeah.
This fucking seems to work for this dude.
I mean, be the everyman, Stephen. Fuck, I get frazzled sometimes when someone asks my name. I fucking think, oh shit, what is it again?
Or be a cop who's on the edge, or a cop who's fucking done something wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and can't live with himself. Like,
he just doesn't understand.
But it was also the acting. Willis was a better actor.
Yeah, but when you get into this sort of stuff, when the ones where he has input and he just decides he's going to take control, it's just clear he just doesn't understand storytelling.
No,
like the fucking characters have to go through a challenge, and the challenge isn't, I'm the best at everything, and now a helicopter's crashed into the prison. Oh, well, I'll just go and fucking win every fight and fucking solve this problem.
And at one point he says,
that's not the challenge.
He says to the FBI woman over the radio, well, I guess I'm all you've got. And I was just like, fuck off, honestly.
Yeah, fuck, we'll just shut this operation down. Sorry, we've lost 10 hostages.
Yeah. If I was the FBI, I'd be like, you know what, fucking nuke that place.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Ja
Rule, sorry. I just need to get the Ja Rule.
Okay.
This is worse than Fire Festival.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
He's not that bad.
He fucking yells every line.
Yeah, I know,
he
but
pulls that bullshit constantly. That kind of gangster shit.
Look, I was ready to lay into him, but I actually don't think he's as bad as
a couple of times he looks at Nia Peoples and then makes out like it's kind of like, hey baby, and I'm just like, you fucking look like a dickhead.
Yeah, but he's not carrying the piece.
He's in the background.
He just dropped the lines as look, I didn't...
Worse than Fire Festival.
No. I mean, I watched poor old Busta Rhymes in Halloween Resurrection and I look at Ja Rule in this and I think, fuck, you've come out better.
Yeah, maybe.
Like I don't think he's that bad. I couldn't say it was a good performance, but...
He's not in it very much, but I could have got on Kurupt.
Yeah,
he was more interesting, and his performance. I
probably should have put that in the likes. I think the scene in the credits of him talking to his missus might be the most entertaining thing in the whole fucking movie.
And he's a background player, But he's loose, he's light. His performance is kind of fun.
I mean, the bit when he fires the fucking rocket launcher and flies and then gets up and is kind of like, "Fuck, what a rush."
Yeah.
Like, I actually giggled. That was the only time in the whole movie when I perked up a little bit. You could have cut Ja Rule away and had Kurupt as his sidekick. And I think that probably would have worked. Are you suggesting that perhaps we need to watch Half Past Dead 2 and really sort of confirm whether that's the case or not?
Bill Goldberg.
Because I can tell you on Letterboxd, Half Past Dead 2.2, Half Past Dead 2, 2.8.
2.8.
So the Goldberg and Kurupt combo, the tag team of Goldberg and Kurupt have come out and just fucking dropped the hammer on
Goldberg.
The tag
was not an
actor's
bumhole, though, wasn't he?
No, he's very bad. So Kurupt would have been doing.
And according to Kevin Nash, not a wrestler's asshole.
According to a few people, fucking Bret Hart has not stopped talking about Goldberg for 20 years.
Yeah, that's right, because he fucking started dropping shoulders on him and shit.
Well, I think he injured Bret Hart.
Hart was trying to say,
like,
just lay off, just go easy for a fucking second.
Yeah. Well, again, tangent, but that's what they say. Like, I remember I saw an interview with Will Sasso, of all people, where he was talking about when he got roped into WCW, I think it was. And he's like, I did fucking 6 minutes with Bret Hart in the ring or whatever, and he was fucking throwing me everywhere or whatever. I came out of the ring and I didn't have a fucking scratch on me. He's like, the guy, that's why he was a pro. He fucking, he showed the fans that he was kicking the shit out of me, but
he didn't hurt me.
Was Bret Hart's like, well, Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash is like, fuck.
It's not fun for the poor bastard getting fucking speared for real.
All right, Jared. Immediately once we've met both Seagal and Ja Rule and some ridiculous bullshit involving a fucking heartbeat and what's he monitor?
Yeah,
to see if he is lying.
It's a polygraph, isn't it?
Yeah, ridiculous.
And then we never see the bad guy again.
No.
What are you doing?
He should have been with Chestnut.
Or something like that. Yeah.
But immediately we get fucking Seagal driving in a straight line, yet getting fucking airborne.
Again, shocking sequence until Ja Rule goes flying out of the car, which made it all worthwhile.
We cut to the side of a road, then car goes fucking flying.
Well, as Roger Ebert said, like I read Roger Ebert's review on this, and he's like, we even get one of those, one of those classic fucking car chases and where the car's fucking dodging and doing all this sort of shit. That he's like, but there's no chase. There's nobody else. It's just the car. Like, it's just Seagal cruising around the streets.
What is happening?
Again, I'll give that. I mean, I hated the scene, but Ja Rule flying out made it all worth it. Yeah, no, that was a terrible
The opening
sequence.
shootout just proves that Don Michael Paul didn't know where he was at. It's just, there's sparks flying everywhere. There's fucking bullets getting shot indiscriminately.
Except in our kind of excitement levels, there was no sparks to be had.
No, God, no. And it's basically like...
My excitement level was like Steven Seagal delivering a line.
Well, if I'd had that polygraph thing
lifeless.
My heart rate wouldn't have gone up over 60.
Yeah, I died for, as you said, I died for 98 minutes.
Resting heart rate.
Yeah.
It's like Michael Bay, but just shit. Do you know what I mean? They're going for the Michael Bay high energy.
Okay. So you're saying Bay's in the action junk level when he gets it right?
No, but when Bay actually gets it right, he's even out of action junk land. Like fucking The Rock is above action junk. Well and truly.
Yeah.
What I mean is Bay had a frenetic style, didn't he? The cuts, the fast cuts, the explosions where sparks would go everywhere. Shit was, everything's moving. Like,
yep.
It seems like Don Michael Paul's gone for that. According to interview today, he was friends with Michael Bay, but it's not working here. It doesn't work on a $15 million budget. It works on $150 million. No.
Yep. I think I would very much agree with you there.
Oh, hang on. The lowest point of Seagal's career. Having a conversation in the car with Ja Rule about saying, all right, was the fucking worst thing I have ever heard in my entire life.
Well,
and watching Seagal fucking meal mouth over the top of it.
When you're trying to go for buddy stuff, but you're working with a guy who nobody could be friends with.
Yeah.
It's tough.
You can't have a buddy cop film with a bloke because no one wants to be his buddy. Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to. Oh, yeah. No, he's horrible.
Fuck, it is like I started laughing.
Yeah.
In the middle of it. Like it was just.
And not for the reason that they wanted you to be laughing.
I was just like, Stephen, like you've got a little bit of pull on these projects. You should have just said, no, we don't need that. Give me something else. Because that, it made
but he
him...
thought, Stephen thinks he can do anything.
It made him
He gets a
more
line like that and
embarrassing.
he thinks, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's great.
Yeah.
I'll get it. I think that's part of it.
Oh, God. They use shots from The Rock. There are actually specific shots of Alcatraz and of the bridge at San Francisco, which are actually from The Rock.
Bet they're wishing they could have used more of The Rock.
Well, perhaps all of it. Fucking called it 10:30, just go for The Rock out again. Re-release The Rock.
Yeah, real Bruce Exploitation style filmmaking.
Exactly. A few intercut sequences of fucking Seagal, and then you've got The Rock.
Yeah, a cardboard cutout of Seagal's face over Nick Cage or something like that.
They also show a shot of the bad guys jumping out of a plane.
Yep.
That's from Navy SEALs.
Fuck, they probably wish they could have used some of that.
I mean, it was bad, but not this bad. But Jared, I mean, you're fucking magpieing from other movies to make this shit.
Look, they've done that before. It's not.
They have, but shit.
But it doesn't. Normally, when you're doing that, it doesn't scream quality.
It doesn't, no. I mean, if Don Michael Paul wasn't mates with Michael Bay, he wouldn't have got those shots.
No, that's right. That's right. But Michael Bay doesn't do his own movies.
I know, but fuck, he's allowed to. He actually shot those.
Maybe The Rock needs to, not The Rock the movie, the pissing The Rock, needs to look into some of that to lower some budgets. Can I just crimp from the shit I've already shot? Then we can make it for 200.
Should he be renamed the urinator?
The Wet Rock or something like that. I don't know.
The Wet Rock.
Look, I think... Look, I'll get into a couple of specifics now, and feel free to pull back because I know you've got a lot of dislikes. Feel free to pull me back in the timeline. What was going on in the bit where Chestnut has to get stuck into the judge for being single?
What was that
all about?
I don't know.
Like, I mean, he's ripping into her and, why didn't you get married? Because no one asked. Oh, well, fuck. Okay.
What's that got to do with fucking gold
anything?
bars? No, don't ask that.
Yeah, that's the point where if you're Mo Chestnut, you're a true professional. You're the veteran minimum signing that's the good locker room guy. That's the point where you go to the coach and say, look, can we fucking run a different play?
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's where, as Mo Chestnut, you're a professional. You haven't got enough pull on this project. You take out a pen and you go, scratch that out. And then when the director says, why didn't you say the line?
I didn't get those pages.
He said, why didn't you say that line? Well, mine's been crossed out. Mate,
sorry,
so
Stephen rewrote that too. I just wrote what Stephen
Well,
said.
we're going to do that line. No, I don't think we should, Don. I think that's not the right one.
Yeah. It just seems so weird in the mix. Like, it was trying to... I get that it was trying to place her as like, okay, well, she's the hostage that we've really... Because we've got 10 hostages. We only focus on one.
No.
So I get that's where we were going with it. But I just felt like that was so weird to watch in the mix.
I'm going to throw one at you that I fucking couldn't stop laughing because it's 2002.
Okay.
One of the dudes on Mo Chestnut's crew goes, they're breaking into the prison and they come to like a keypad and he says, how long is it going to take? Yeah, it's like that sequence in Die Hard where he says to Theo, how long is it going to take? And this bloke turns and says, look, it's tough to know because I'm going to have to decode, download and override. And I was like, Clearly, somebody's just got some tech words and fucking
just drop them all in there. I don't know what any of them mean, but we'll say all of them.
And then, boom, next thing you know, she's opening she's opening up.
Easy.
So it was just like, fuck.
Lucky we got the best decoder overrider
Downloader
in the game.
Usually you're not downloading anything.
No. I thought you were cracking into it, and you were fucking uploading.
I was uploading viruses, decoding, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I opened the debugger for a minute just to check out what's going on.
Yeah.
I press Control Alt Delete.
I pull out the cord, I blow on it, I put it back in, and then it fucking opens.
Easy as that, usually.
Yeah. There's a whole sequence too where Seagal and that guard are walking back from somewhere.
Yeah.
After I think going to see that fucking
bit of slap
idiot.
practice.
Yeah, that moron that's up for being killed, supposedly knows.
Yes, yep.
So they go to meet him and then
He seems to be a good bloke.
Was he a murderer?
Obviously, prison turned him into a good bloke.
Well, he's drinking like he's.
No, he was trying to. He was talking about how he was trying to rob.
Yeah, and then five
people died. Yeah.
So Seagal's walking back with this guard, and they come across Chestnut and his crew, who fucking launch a volley of shots. They fill the guard full of holes.
Yeah.
But Seagal just falls to the ground
Just
like
a scratch,
and he's got his hands up over his head. They just walk past like nothing's happened. Then he looks up as if to say. And I'm like, how'd you fucking avoid all those shots?
Well, there's a very brief moment
he's
of
got
him kind of shaking his shoulder.
He's got shot in the shoulder at one point.
And it's like, okay, is that going to impede you at all? Are we going to slap a bandage on?
Well, from what I've been told, getting shot in the shoulder is one thing you don't want to happen to you. Well, there's a lot of nerves and shit up there.
Yeah. Well, I would think you'd at least have a dead arm. You'd have
minimum, you're fighting one armed. I think. He seems to have removed the shell and he's sewing himself up at one point, which I think what all good FBI agents are able to do. What else have you got, Jared? You got anything else that we can...
I do. I mean, we spoke about specific fight scenes, but I thought the fight scenes overall were dreadful. Like, I mean, the fucking brief fight on the chains? Good Lord.
Oh.
You talk about...
But you wouldn't be able to actually come in contact with each other. The chains are fucking flying around everywhere.
But even if you're going to do that, the way that they shot it... I mean, Adam, yesterday I played some of that free roam VR where you're walking around and there were sequences in the VR when you're in a helicopter and I was on fucking flat ground, so I was fucking feeling dizzy and this sort of shit. I felt dizzier watching that fucking 30
Well, he also
seconds
shoots from below a lot. And you just see dudes fucking circling each other.
Oh, it was shocking.
It was really poorly done.
Yeah, really bad. So yeah, I had that. Story-wise, there is not a shred of a reason why Ja Rule decides to help Seagal other than he's friends with him. Because he's talking about, like... I mean, essentially, they know that they're rescuing judges and shit, right?
I think so.
There's not a reason for Seagal to do that. I mean, Ja Rule to do that other than the brief bit where he stops him and has a chat about it in the hallway.
Yeah, that's true. I've got a number of other questions and I'm going to go with. Why did they leave all their lines hanging through down into the fucking prison full of, murderers and thieves and shit so they could possibly try and climb out? Right?
Yeah.
Why are all the prison doors open?
Yeah, exactly.
Was there something there that happened?
I don't know.
Why would you open the prison doors? Even if you're Chestnut's crew, you're not opening the prison doors.
No.
You don't want those fuckers roaming around?
No, it's just a complication, isn't
Where did they get the fucking rocket launcher from?
Good question. I didn't think about it until then.
And
I just enjoyed Kurupt being attached to it when he went flying through the window.
Tell me that a young, skinny bloke, prisoner, climbs all the way to the top to try and escape using the cords that the Chestnut's crew brought with them, but falls off and dies. But Seagal, the tubby fat ass, could get up there? That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, but he had the skills to get up there, Adam.
No,
that's all that was
not
required.
About skill. What about fucking weight?
Well, I was going to say, the lighter people would have the better chance, wouldn't they? Because even just like a little bit of arm strength would
pound for pound strength.
Yeah. But Seagal's the strongest man alive.
And you
That's
know
what you forgot.
Not once, but twice. He's in that fucking helicopter 2 different times.
Yeah, I get you.
Like, get the fuck out of here. Ah, Stephen. And then the last one for me. Watching you dive out of a plane, a helicopter after a falling hostage.
That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It's so... At that point, I thought to myself, should I put on Triple X for a better viewing experience?
I reckon. I was just like, Stephen, there's nothing you can't do, is there?
Nothing.
There's absolutely nothing you cannot do.
It was laughable.
And again, coming back to sort of finish this off and coming back roundabout to give Stephen another hard kicking in the arse.
Sorry, it's a slap in the arse. Stephen doesn't kick anymore.
Yeah. He can't. He can't get his fucking foot up. But this is what, when we talked about Willis making this work for him, was once again... They always had the hero qualifier. Like Willis's characters always had that hero qualifier too.
Yeah, he was a guy who'd done some shit.
But he wasn't
had
capable
since
of
buried
doing...
himself in cans since doing the shit. Had since decided to live in a pizza box.
Joe Hallenbeck's a classic example. He was Secret Service.
Yes.
He got himself in trouble because he'd fucking turned on his boss for being a scumbag.
Yep.
Now he's fucking drowning in cans. Yeah.
So
and he's working as a scummy PI.
As an audience, there's a hint of us. There's a hint of. Oh, can he get back there?
Yeah.
Can he shake off that hangover to get the Secret Service form back?
And not only that, he's fucking 20 keg heavier and growing a fucking awful beard.
Balding, hasn't shaved.
He looks shocking. Like, no one's like... This is another reason why I think Willis worked as well, was he also wasn't afraid to look like a scumbag on a fucking regular basis.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think you're 100% on there. Like, it's...
And Willis didn't always do everything right.
No.
Seagal does nothing wrong.
Well,
every single
think
fucking
about this.
thing he does.
Things that didn't necessarily play heavily into the storylines. Willis was a shit parent in Die Hard, apparently. He was a shit husband. This is stuff we knew about.
And Joe Hallenbeck was not a
Joe Hallenbeck. Fucking don't even talk about him. He wasn't paying child support. He wasn't doing it. He was spending that on large pepperonis.
He was throwing away perfectly good ice cream.
Exactly.
Trying to make a point.
Yeah. So I think that's the stuff that Seagal just never seemed to get.
Because it was like weakness. I think we talked about this in some of his other ones. It was like a weakness. If I can't do everything well, I'm weak.
Yeah.
Well, my characters are weak.
But it's, the thing about it is, like, mate, watch a good or read a good Superman comic. What are the good ones? Oh, when Superman can't do everything. Like, fuck. Like, isn't that the idea of a good hero?
Stephen, is to make you vulnerable.
Yes.
You have to have vulnerabilities or the fucking thing doesn't work.
Correct.
And as we dove into Belly of the Beast and further into some other bullshit, Into the Sun, it got worse. He became even less... He became less capable physically.
I tried to expunge Belly of the Beast from memory after we fucking hired that on DVD.
When he cut a bullet in half with the fucking katana sword.
Jesus, when he was sliding along the floor. Look, a couple of quick ones just to round us off.
Yeah.
You spoke about the whole wife storyline.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I mean, his delivery of the line, I just can't let it go, man. It's fucking laughable. And then we don't hear about it again until the villain that we don't see again is referenced as having killed the wife. It packs no fucking
Which one
emotional
killed the wife?
He talks about
which villain? The
Sonny,
first one?
The guy that he met. The guy that he met who Ja Rule said, I work for this guy, and that Sonny guy's like, I got to test you out.
Yeah, so Sonny should have been brought back into the...
Yeah, so we don't get that again, but we bring the wedding ring back as, Sonny killed her. As you said, should Sonny have not been...
With
possibly
Chestnut.
even Chestnut, that character is Sonny or something... You know, there's got to be some attachment.
Or Sonny is
not bringing him back
is with Chestnut, and Chestnut's his right-hand man.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck, even if he brought him back, the delivery of the lines around that are so bad that I don't think
I
it
even
could go
forgot
with it.
about that, Jared.
But anyway, we'll fucking brush that off. The final face-off, this is... I don't know why this got me, but in the final face-off, when they're exchanging Lester for the judge, not quite the final face-off, setting up the final face-off, I guess, because that was in the helicopter when he launched out of it. But two blokes, one of them's Kurupt, and there's some guy from the other side, leap off the balcony to cross over and shoot. And then we get a shot of Kurupt landing like he's just jumped off a small stool or something.
Yeah, that's right.
It's fucking lunacy.
It's 3 or 4 levels high.
You cannot do that with random characters in a movie like this, surely. I know he's light.
Man, I know you're light. I know you're airy and your performance has got some fucking energy, but that's not it, mate.
It's not happening. Not happening. That was the last of it for me. I just thought that required a mention because it was so ridiculous. But yeah, that was it for me.
Yeah, I didn't have anything left, and I don't want to talk about this any further. So that was 10:30. Honestly, I feel like we should watch 10:30 too because it's a palate. It's a fucking palate cleanser.
I think it is 2.8.
2.8 blows it out of the water. All right. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Podomatic, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. Like us on Facebook, Thrill Me Podcast Australia, Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com, Instagram at thrillmepodcastau. Keep an eye on the Facebook page for our next episode as we roll into Christmas. But
Red One's going to be in there somewhere.
No doubt. we have to go to the cinemas for that.
Oh, surely it's going to drop on Amazon before then.
I hope so. Because Christ, I don't think
I'll spend a few of my points.
I don't want to spend big money there
because we need to cover it.
We do need to cover it. But until then, take it easy, everyone, and we'll catch you later. Cheers. Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.